So today I'm just going around more or less looking at a few things, gathering a few things, but I'm following the theme of some of the greatest people in what I call broadcasting. Y'all might say entertainment. You might think of broadcasting only as radio, but that's not true because even CBS, that B means broadcasting. So is anybody is broadcasting? It could be somebody on YouTube broadcasting through the internet. But anyway, so again, I'm minding my own business and I'm looking at because the reason why I'm here is everybody says Howard Stern is a great interviewer. So but he said the best person he ever interviewed. Remember, Howard Stern has interviewed just about everybody. Some people refuse to go on his show or whatever, but he's interviewed just about everybody. Anybody that's everybody he's interviewed them one way or another. Even if he sent Stuttering John to do something stupid or say some stupid stuff. And the funny thing is, a long time ago, I remember Stuttering John asking Rudy Giuliano, if you ran for presidency, would you reopen the Kennedy assassination? And Giuliano was like, yeah, definitely I would. But then that was before 9/11. And then, then Giuliano's, he's with Trump in office right now. And they talked about it, but then the decision came to leave it closed for whatever reason. But the question Howard Stern asked Conan O'Brien, because Conan O'Brien, was a writer for Saturday Night Live, but also a writer for David Letterman. Uh, and so Howard Stern said to Conan O'Brien, well, you were working for Saturday Night Live for a while, so I'm sure you got, pretty friendly with Lauren Michaels. Now, I'm hoping y'all know who Lauren Michaels is if you're listening, because Lauren Michaels is a creative force. He's the Vincent McMahon of Saturday Night Live. Without Vincent McMahon, the WWE would not be where it is today. His creative mind, the boss, and all the just crazy stuff. His comedic genius and how he can make wrestling from just professional wrestling to sports entertainment, and how he was able to sell you scripts and storylines and keep you interested in these wrestlers and these characters, which that's not really an easy thing to do. You got to do exactly, you got to make it entertaining by any means necessary. Otherwise, you don't have a business. So, with Lauren Michaels, like I said, and something else I heard Adam Sandler say, because I never knew Adam Sandler was fired from Saturday Night Live, and that's why he wouldn't come back on. He waited 20 years, and he only finally came back on this time because he's selling a book. But he was selling stuff before he never came back on, so I guess it took him 20 years to really heal. And when Eddie Murphy left, one of those comedians, the comedian that plays the person, Spade, was his name David Spade, I think his name is. He did a joke on Eddie Murphy that Eddie Murphy was offended. And I said, how can Eddie Murphy be offended? All the shit Eddie Murphy did. So he did an Eddie Murphy type joke. Because, Eddie Murphy was the guy that really came out on Andy Kaufman. Get that white boy off the stage. This white boy will never do Saturday Night Live again. He was killing Eddie. But all the stuff Eddie did. So he got mad because David Spade did a bit basically saying Eddie Murphy's played out and washed up. But they used to do that shit to Steve Martin all the time. And Steve Martin was one of the biggest regulars on the show. And they even did bits saying he was washed up. So finally he came on the show and he actually got him back. Because David Spade was talking crazy. And then the camera, he was sitting right next to David Spade. And then he just ate him up. And that was it. So in other words, he didn't take it personal. But Eddie Murphy took it personal. So he never came back either. He stayed off the show for long. He never came back. And then when he did come back, he didn't even crack one joke. So a lot of people get fired off. Like even Pharaoh, that guy that's called Pharaoh that does all them impersonations, he got fired off of Saturday Night Live. And he, at first he tried to cover it up, but then they found out he got fired. He was saying he left on his own, but then he got fired. But that seems to be the regular though. From what I'm hearing, that's nothing to be ashamed. That's like standard operating procedure on Saturday Night Live. Because you know they used to try to start a new cast every season was supposed to be new people. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But most of the old timers knew you. They said if you do it more than 2 years, something's wrong with you. They said after 2 years you should have used your platform on Saturday Night Live to get something more for yourself, and be getting it for yourself instead of doing it for Saturday Night Live. And that was one of the reasons why John Belushi OD'd, because he felt like, wow, I'm going into my third year, I should be. But he was a comedic genius. I mean, him and Dan Aykroyd. But the difference between Dan Aykroyd was he was smart enough to go to Lorne Michaels with ideas, because Dan Aykroyd is also a writer. So they produced a lot of movies, and like no matter what you say, Animal House will always be a classic. You know. So that was the thing with Dan Aykroyd. You had this writer and also a comedian on the show and all that. And then you have Michael Myers, the Canadian. And like I said, the reason why Lorne Michaels had a little respect for Michael Myers was because Lorne Michaels told Michael Myers, listen, we want you to do this movie. Big Adventure or some crap. And we're not going to do the song you requested. You requested Queens. They don't want to do Queens. They don't want to do Rhapsody. They're not going to do Queen. But you can take the movie, but you're not going to get Queen. And then Michael Myers said, if we don't do Queens, I'm not doing a movie. And he said Lorne Michaels said, let me see if I understand what you're saying. You're a nobody with this chance to be in a movie to become somebody, but you're not going to take the chance to become a somebody because you only want that one song by Queen. And if you don't get it, then you're going to probably stay a nobody. And Michael Myers said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And wouldn't do it. So Lorne Michaels went all the way back and got them to put that movie. So Queen should be saying thank you to Michael Myers because they put Queen in that movie, that song, because of Michael Myers. You understand? And then I think that made Lorne Michaels respect him. Like, this guy really is not going to back down if he believes he's right. He really believes in himself. So Michael Myers started giving all these ideas to and that's where you had that movie, the character he played. And he played all those characters. And it was funny because Richard Pryor used to do shit like that. My favorite movie is Which Way Is Up. Because Richard Pryor played about 3 or 4 different characters. So that person you're looking at, he told you. They say, hey, where did you get that character from Dr. Evils? He said, that's Lorne Michaels. He said the voice, putting his pinky in his mouth. He said, that's Lorne Michaels. And everybody was laughing and shit. So when Howard Stern asked Conan O'Brien, and I'm going to have that link right in the description box. But he asked Conan O'Brien, well, you were a writer for Saturday Night Live, so you must have knew Lorne Michaels. Were you guys close? And this is what Conan O'Brien said. He said, listen, he said, you keep saying me and Lorne Michaels was close. He said, listen, he said, yeah, I worked there. He said, Lorne will walk around. He said, but it was intimidating. He said he took Lorne Michaels' voice. I can't really do it, but it sounded just like Michael Myers, the way he does his voice. But he's like, he said Lorne Michaels would see you and say shit to you like this. Oh, you're still here. Oh, hanging on by a thread. I heard that shit, man. I cracked up laughing. He said Lorne Michaels would say that to people like, oh, you're almost out of here. And the reality was they were firing people. I never knew they fired that many people off Saturday Night Live. So, it is what it is. But he said Lorne would actually say that to you. Like, he wasn't the type of guy to necessarily hold a conversation with you, but he would say stuff like, you're still here? Oh, you're still hanging on by a thread. I said, oh, shit, this dude crazy. But I guess that's his sense of humor. Now, remember, Lorne Michaels did appear in a skit with that other guy that was kind of creepy to be on MTV. And Lorne Michaels appeared in the bathtub skit with him with the rubber ducky and shit. So you got to be a certain type of person to really get Lorne Michaels to really, whatever. And then it was sweet with Drake, because Drake did a bit. Lorne Michaels did a bit with Drake when Drake was showing you how battle rappers are all emotional and it really ain't no beef. They always stupid shit. Oh, I don't like the way I spoke to you, and I don't like the way you responded. You didn't smile when so I'm gonna dish you, and make something that's really small and beef and shit. But what he said about Lorne Michaels was funny. Like, I was dying laughing, and the reason why I was laughing because y'all don't understand. Like, they be cracking. Like, when you got comedians working for you, you know they cracking on you. So whoever wrote that bit, you know, they did the same thing Michael Myers did. They took the boss and made a joke out of him. But that's what they do in wrestling with Vincent McMahon. Because Vincent McMahon plays, oh, I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and you work for me, and I'm a billionaire, and you're nobody, and if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be. And then he's got wrestlers saying like, oh, fuck you, giving them the finger and shit like that, and Stone Cold stunning them and shit like that. So it was comedic genius. And I still believe that Vincent McMahon is the Jack Benny of our day, because he's just unbelievably funny, and he knows how to set shit up. Because that's what comedy is. You set it up to get the result you're looking for, like a situation comedy or stand-up comedy. You got to have bits ready as shit. You know, you got to take somebody you know and really, you know, oh, you know, my brother-in-law, this guy is so stupid, you know. And even though what you're saying is real, you know, this guy, he's going outside. He's going outside in the summertime with the door wide open, and then he's wondering why he wakes up with all these mosquito bites on his ass. You know, it might have been on his arm, but you got to change it and shit, because ass is funnier. So ass, and then and then your brother-in-law's pissed off, like, why this motherfucker got to be using me? But, you know, it is what it is. So that's comedy. So it was funny when Conan said that, especially when he took Lorne Michaels' voice. That shit was hilariously funny. I'm hanging on by a thread. I'm out.